I'm Joel D, in the place to be on a Monday, and we are looking forward to a big week, Thanksgiving week. It's also a big spending week, right? But it's a couple malls that you will not be able to spend your money at because they're having some trouble now, and we found something similar between them. Let's talk to Andrew Klein, who's been looking into this right now. We told you last week about North Hanover Mall, and you looked into their ownership, and what did you find?
Yeah, so their ownership group is a group called Nambdar. They own a ton of malls throughout the entire country. A couple here in Pennsylvania, specifically central Pennsylvania. The two that we're talking about, the Hanover Mall and the Chambersburg Mall, both of which have seriously deteriorated in quality.
Yeah, even the sign doesn't look very
years.
good there in Chambersburg. The sign does not look very good.
This footage really tells the entire story. So the Chambersburg Mall here is completely abandoned, not condemned like the Hanover Mall is, but it is abandoned. I mean, the sign shows the story.
How long has it been out of commission?
About 2 years.
Okay. Any plans to do anything with it, as far as you can tell?
Right now, no. Right now, there's nothing they really can do because the ownership group isn't doing anything about it. So, Franklin County can't do much because they're not the ones who own the building. Now, they're trying to figure out something to do with it. Their hope is that they'll have some sort of a plan by 2026. But in that spot right now, the ownership group is, not really doing anything at all.
Well, I guess they're still paying their property taxes, or else they could take it away from them. So at the very least, they're doing that, I would assume.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. All right, let's go back to North Hanover for a second. We talked about that place being condemned. I guess there was a water leak or something like that, but then we found that they had not fixed the original problem for a long time either. Remind people what happened in North Hanover.
I mean, you could see that blue tarp. There was a wall collapse. There was issues, collapses inside JCPenney. There were just general leaks and ceiling collapses and water and electricity spaces. So just a lot of I mean, look at that one shot right here of the whole front that had collapsed. And I mean, that again tells the story of what's been going on.
Well, and that one's particularly tough because there were vendors actually in there. We know Chambersburg, people haven't been in there for a couple of years, and that's just a big empty building they're not doing anything with, which is a shame. But this place had vendors probably counting on some of this holiday spending to help them, and it's not happening. All right, so that brings us to the big question. What's going on with these owners? What have you been able to find out?
I mean, nothing right now. I tried to call them, email them earlier today with a couple of questions. We've reached out a number of times in the last few weeks, and they haven't given us any sort of answer on what that direction is or what they're doing right now. I called them earlier. They told me, email this person, email that person. Just kind of waiting to hear back now on, a couple of things that I asked.
Okay. Well, what are the big questions that you want to hear?
I want to know if what they've done. I spoke to someone from Franklin County earlier who said basically they have not, invested anything. I want to, make sure that that fact is true. Has there been investments into the mall? Have they had, any plans in the past that they haven't been able to fulfill? Is there anything they're going to do with these spaces in the near future? Because they're still here. They're a condemned mall, abandoned mall. There's a lot you can actually do with the facility itself. But are they going to invest in these facilities, and do they want to invest in these facilities?
Yeah.
Do they feel like it makes sense to invest in these facilities again?
Who did you talk to today about this?
Just very briefly on the phone, I spoke to a representative from Nambdar. In terms of Franklin County, Franklin County Development Organization. I spoke to the president, so in charge of developing different things in Franklin County. And they said those are the ones who told me they're trying to figure out some sort of a plan to come up with to push forward into 2026. So in terms of officials, that's who I spoke with. A couple of the residents as well who lived around here. They had gone to the mall for a number of years, but after a while, it just wasn't good enough quality for them to even consider going to the Chambersburg Mall.
Yeah, I used to live in Hagerstown, work in Chambersburg. Went to that mall a number of times. It was fine back in the day, but we know the trend is malls aren't as popular as they used to be in a big scheme of things. The ones that are successful. They're doing fine, but all those mid-range ones that aren't doing well, it's hard to keep them going. And so, I don't know if the outlook is here. Have you been able to find out? You said they own a lot of malls. Like, give me a picture nationwide, maybe.
Oh, hundreds. Oh, you can't even. They own so many buildings and properties that it was hard to even narrow it down to just malls. And even then, I mean, it was a lengthy list in a number of states.
So they must be doing well to have some malls that are doing okay. Is that fair to say?
I mean, I would have to believe that they are doing well enough to own all of these properties, yes. And, to me, it's because they own so many properties, are there ones that they just can't look after? Is that what's happening here?
Good question.
Is it too many, for them to deal with? And there are a lot of malls. I mean, there's a number of malls specifically, but they also own other business. They own fast food buildings and banks and all these different things that are under this property.
So a lot of property management.
Yes.
Ah, I see. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, let's stay on top of this and see when they get the answers back what we're going to have here. But like you said, a big entity like that, sometimes they don't pay attention to the small things that they think are small, but we think are big because we live here. So, yeah, It's tough. All right, Andrew Klein, thanks a lot. Look forward to your report today.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you. Yeah, folks, this is really rough timing when it comes down to it because this is the time where people want to get out to malls. We know that one in Chambersburg has been closed for a while. But North Hanover, you got to think those vendors were really hoping to increase their sales at a time when people are ready to spend some money, right? So tell us what you think about this. If the malls near you are doing well and where you like to shop. Let's keep the conversation going. I'm Joel D. Smith. This is 21 Next for November 24th, the start of Thanksgiving week. We'll see you later.